movies and Monument Valley and things, and he wrote a thing about, which he sent me, the Titanic. When the big Kate Winslet movie came out, he remembered the Kenneth More one, which was very, very good. People were underrating that, and so he wrote this wonderful extensive article about that. So he was absolutely incredible, and so that morning was a quite shell shock. But I think I did one of the best shows I've ever did for Norman that day, because you feel they're inspiring you. You've used it to inspire you. That night I went on, there wasn't too many in the thing, but again, and maybe I started to get a bit, what's the word?
Melancholy.
Yes, and I think I fell out with somebody that night. We started to get, but then time was getting ready to go over for the funeral and that. So you know.
Did you find at such times your faith also kicks in for you, and the Lord sort of almost takes you by the hand and walks you through?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
What's your favourite Bible verse and why?
I think it's the look at the lilies, how they, you know, because it's the insecurity of show business. No matter what point you get, you know, there's the ups and downs. So it's that phone ringing, really, you know. If it's not ringing, and obviously for the mainstream comedy, it's been sort of sidelined the last couple of years and things, you know, you're not flavour of the month.
But it's true, isn't it? Because that has to be, I mean, for all of us, but I think I can see what you're saying for you. There is insecurity in your business because you never know if the phone's going to go. You never know what's going to happen next. And your whole life is there. So you have to trust him, not just what you do or where your next show's coming from.
And you have to let him guide you, because every adversity is the seed of an equivalent or greater benefit. I read that in the book, and I think that's important, because that motivates you then to look at other ways that you didn't before when the halcyon days. So what I do now is, if I do a good show somewhere, I will say, now look, this is great, we've broke the ice, I think they're going to tell their friends, I'll come back in 2 years' time.
Right.
And that's what we so we started the I call them boomerang customers. So it's a shame to do great at this place and you never do it again, because the hardest thing is obviously when you're not flavour of the month, for to sell the tickets. So I remember them doing this, but once they see you and they enjoy it, then they tell their friends and they come back. So I've learned to do that. Loads of things I've learned to do because things got and is it like. Again, the other cliche is necessity is the mother of invention as well. So I believe you're divine guided to be creative in those moments to bring out the best in you to keep your career going, you know.
And walk with him and in the doors that he opens up and the pathways that he's going.
Right.
Yeah,
that's right.
What somebody watching this and says, "Gee, I'd love to be a comic. I'd love to get into the business today." What would you say to them?
Yeah, I'd say, find out what your strong point is in comedy. Do you want to go down the visual road? Are you more a patter? What's your best thing? Get your friends and family to do that. And hand in hand, I would get inspirational books to keep you the tenacity and the determination. I do a thing at home where I live in Rochdale every sort of once a month in the winter. When January, February is quiet, I'll do once a month, and then later on once every 2 months. I'll try new material, but I'll give people a break, because they're all friends and family that come, and they will have a nice, easy audience. I think you need nice audiences. The comedy club, my daughter does comedy clubs. Comedy clubs do these things where they call it the gong show. So they let somebody have a gun. If they're no good, they bang a gun. I mean, there's no way anybody is going to come out of that. They need to be blossomed and they need to be watered. So and they need to go on little things like that. I proved this because a singer rang and said, "Can I go on and sing a few songs?" He was quite nervous, even though it's just a little church hall. And after his first song, I got all these people cheering, and I could see him physically get better, get more confident with the next song. And when he walked out of there, he was 10 feet high, and that's what it's all about.
Finally, Jimmy, and I don't want to bring it to a close, but I guess we're better at some point, but do you have the funniest joke? Do you have a joke that you think is the funniest one you've ever heard, or is there such a whole raft of them?
Yeah, it's a whole raft, but I am inclined to think that a lot of people laugh. A lot of comedy is based on sympathy and warmth. And there is a sort of a joke that a lot of people will laugh at, and I cite this, but it's just not only they're laughing because the underdogs come through. And I'll give you an instance. It's a picture of the scene. It's a transport cafe. And there's a little fella, and he's having his breakfast. He's in the corner of the breakfast, and the three bikers come in, right, bent on mischief. So they go over to the little guy, and of course, then they take the salt and they pour it into his tea. Then they take the sugar and pour it into his egg and bacon. Then they kick the seat, and then they throw the plate on top of him, right? And he gets up quietly. He walks over to the till. He pays for his breakfast. And he walks out. And then they hear him drive off, and one of the guys shouts to the cafe owner, "Not much of a man, is he?" And the cafe owner said, "And he's not much of a driver either. He's just run over 3 motorbikes." You know why I love that?
Yeah.
The little man has got the bully.
Yeah.
So there's a double laugh in that.
Yeah.
It just takes it on to another level, you know, Doug?
Yeah. Well, where do you pick new material up from?
Well, I think you're always looking. Even today, I was in the shop there with my good lady here in Christchurch, and there was it was actually a very unusual cafe, a thatched roof, so we had a nice cup of tea there, and they had fudge. A fudge shop selling as you go out, and I thought, hang on a sec. I said, you know, the guy, he's there, I'm making him a few sillies, funnies, and I'm saying, you know, if a guy came in here, a homeless guy came in selling a magazine, would he be fudging the issue? Right, it's just it's puns, really. Yeah. And then he'll have a sort of a laugh. Yeah. But you're always looking for things like that, you see. A few days ago I thought, that's a great cliche, when the chips are down. So I said to them, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to leave you with a thought. When the chips are down, make sure you hang on to the fish. Right. So I'm always looking for it. Then, of course, I have a lovely fella in Weymouth, a writer, and he gives me stuff. I'll give him an idea, and he'll do that. So I think, material is the big thing. You've got to keep working on it.
Yeah.
You know, you don't always hit the bullseye. And even last night, if I'll do a new one, you take a deep breath. But it's better than pinching. Because when you pinch, you know the guy's done well. It's an easy way. Yeah. But no, take that from that paper and go out. Yeah. You know.
And I guess there's some spiritual lessons as there. I mean, it's the same in our spiritual life, isn't it? That we continue. We have to move through new ways. We have to find new ways through. But we're always looking and allowing the Lord to do that in our lives.
Yes, and it's what we learnt on his mother's knee. Yeah. Do unto others.
Yeah.
What
do you want to do to you?
To you.
Jimmy, thanks very much indeed.
Cheers, Dougie.
Bless you. Lovely to meet you. I love my job, and I really enjoyed that time with Jimmy. And as I said there, I think there are some spiritual lessons for us. I think there was one there of fellowship, of encouraging one another. Yes, Jimmy was talking about it, of encouraging new artists. But I think there's a real sense in which we should be encouraging people. Have you encouraged somebody over this Christmas period? Have you really gone to them and encouraged them and helped them on in their spiritual life? And then, of course, the whole area for new material. What has God said afresh to you this Christmas period? If you've been a Christian a while, you know the story. What has God said to you? What new material have you found in your life today? I want to thank very much Joel and Peter for the crew down there at Christchurch. We had a great day out together. I want to thank Chris Gidney of Christians in Entertainment, and I hope maybe we can develop this and talk to some more of these people.